Hello. This is going to be a quick tutorial on how to make a graphic so that it will blend into the background of your web page. And this is going to be for a web page that we're working on that has side tables, and this will be an image that goes in that side table, and we want it to blend into the background. Okay, first of all, we have the two main pictures we'll be using. This picture of Michael Myers and this picture of this film strip. First thing I need to do is I am going to click on the film strip, and you see here it says background and has a little lock. I'm going to right click and select layer from background. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the Michael Myers picture. Select the Michael Myers picture, right click, layer from background. Okay, that just saves you from having problems later, because we're going to make this have a transparent background, and if you don't do that step, you'll end up with color in your background, and we don't want that. So to make this transparent background, we're going to go over to our toolbar and get the magic wand tool. Since this has got a clean black or clean white background, it's pretty easy. You just click in all the spots. Click there, click here, click here. Looks like everything's covered. And then right click on the image, go down and select layer via cut and click. You'll see over here now that we have two images or two layers. Turn off that top layer, that's what we just cut away, and as you can see we have a transparent background. I'm going to click a brand new layer, pull it down to the bottom, and since our web page has got a black background, I'm going to fill this layer with black. I use the Alt and backspace because black's already my foreground color over here. But however you want to fill that layer with the color, you can use the paint bucket or whatever. And it looks good, it's clean. And the only other thing we're do is we would resize this picture so that it's the right size of 200 by 200, which I've already done, and I have a sample of that. So I'm going to minimize this, bring this up here. And if I can right click on the top, image size, you can see that it is 200 by 200 pixels, and that's how wide our side tables are. So okay, now we're going to move over to Michael Myers. First we need to make him the correct size because he has to fit into this film strip. I'm going to right click on the top image size, and I want to make the width 200, and that way the height will be shorter than 200, and that's what we want for these purposes. So I've changed his size. I'm going to click on his layer, and I'm going to pull his layer over into this film strip. Now this is giving me this because Michael Myers' picture was made in a different format, but it's okay. It won't affect anything, especially in a black and white picture. So I'm just going to click OK. And there is Michael Myers. So I'm going to minimize this one. We're just going to focus on this one. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to select all by doing Control A, or you can go over here and click Select All. And then I'm going to go to the Layers, Align Layers to Selection, Vertical Center, see he moved a little bit, Layer again, Align Layers to Selection, Horizontal Section, Center. And that puts him right in the middle of our square. It's just how we want it. And then we're going to go over here and do Select, Deselect, because we don't want anything selected. Now, making sure we are clicked on the Michael Myers layer, we're going to select the Lasso tool. So we're going to make a little circle around Michael Myers so we can blend him in. We don't want any square edges, so we're going to try to make this as round as we can and not have anything square. And it doesn't matter if we cut into his body here, because we're going to blend that in with the next step. Okay, so the next step is to come over to our layers, and we are going to click on the Add a Layer mask. As you see, the outline I made, it cut away all that excess. Alright, now again I'm going to go over here and create a new layer, pull it down to the bottom, Alt backspace to fill that with the black color, because we want to see what it looks like on what color our website background is. Now click back on Michael Myers. Make sure you're clicking on the mask, not the image, because if you can click on the image or you can click on the mask. We need the mask for this purposes. And then I'm going to go to filters, go down to blur, over to Gaussian blur. And you see it's set at a 7 now, and you can see how the edges of his picture has blurred. If I go way over here, you'll see him fade away. If I move back, he comes back, but you can still see the square around him. And if you go all the way to the left, your picture's just all jagged how you cut it. So I'm going to move it over. That 7 looked pretty good. The 8 looks pretty good. So somewhere, wherever you think it looks good, where it's blended pretty well, I'm going to go with the 8. And since you've got it on preview, it shows it all down here. So I'm going to say OK. I'm going to finish that step. Alright, next step, back to our layers. We're still clicked on the mask. We're going to click on the layer filters here, and I'm just going to scroll through them. You can look at them to see what ones look good, but I'm going to scroll down to hard light, because that's what I want. Then I am going to click to the film strip. I'm also going to go to the layers filters, and I'm going to also set that one to hard light. You can experiment. You might find other ones that you think look better. It's your choice. But I'm going to change the opacity now on the film strip because it's obscuring the Michael Myers. And I'm going to change that to 35. So you can see that, still see the film strip, but you can also see Michael Myers, and it looks a little creepy. It's kind of cool for what we want. Alright, now this is about the last step, because we still have the edge of this film strip looks like it just runs off in a square, and the top, same thing. So we're going to fix those so they blend a little bit. I'm going to go over to my gradient tool, which is the same place where the paint bucket would be usually, at least in my Photoshop it is. And I'm going to click and make sure I have my gradient tool. And up here I need to make sure that I have the one selected for foreground to transparent, which that's going to make it so that our black foreground color, this black foreground color, goes to be a transparency. So now we're clicking back. Oops, I'm sorry. Click on the film strip, because we're going to make the film strip edges fade. So I'm going to click a little here and click a line up. Not too far up, but just a little line, and then let go of my mouse. And you see how that faded that little piece away. I'm going to do that right up here at the top too. Click, pull down a little ways. Oops, not too far. Let go, and you see how that's faded. And then I'm going to do it from the side as well. Click, pull the mouse over just a little bit, and it just softens the edge Do it one more time right there. Oops, just a little bit. And doesn't look like it's a complete square. And that's about it for that. And as you see on the black background, it looks pretty good. Well, you're going to take it, because when we save it, we're going to turn off the black background because we already have a black background on our page, and that's kind of the key of it blending. So it might not look so great right now, but when we save it, it'll look just fine when we put it up on our web page. So File, we save as, go wherever you want to save it, and call it whatever you want. I'm saving it as the PSD file first. And say OK. And then now you save it as a ping file. The ping file is the one you'll use, of course. You can call it whatever you want again, it's your choice. The ping file allows you to have a transparent background, and you're done.